I think we started this week with the first on the first of December, which is on Monday, and I did a session. We had a lot of network issues on that day, but I think like I did an explanation about the whole of what we're looking forward to for the whole of December as far the the whole financial markets and the flow of liquidity um from bond yields and how it flows from bond yields to equities and from equities to how it flows to equities. When we talk about equities, we're also referring to stocks, right? Stocks and equity are the same things. And from there to commodities. Commodities has to be oil, gold, and silver and the likes of them. All of them. And commodities to currencies. Currencies has to do with major, minor, all of them put together, exotic pairs, currencies, and then its impact ultimately now boils down to like crypto, right? Crypto is like down, 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 down the chain. And what is happening in each of these sectors impacts the other. So I did all that explanation. Although we had a little bit of issues on Monday, and then we started sharing trades ever since then. I couldn't go live yesterday. I couldn't share anything yesterday because of how the day went for me. But we're still gonna do like a little bit of catch up, right? So far, so good. I think today we're gonna start with picking up crypto assets, right? And then from crypto, we can now continue the journey over to probably something else. So we could start with let's start with Bitcoin in terms of crypto now. So we got this. This was like one of the first trades we took this week, and which I shared actually. I shared two setups actually. I shared one on this is okay. This was the swing position. This chart is on Coinbase chart. So the Coinbase BTC chart was where I shared this from, which you can see from my screen. This is the zone. This was the zone, and this was actually a retest. And I gave another entry, which if I'm to, I want to split my chart to this and this. Oh, I made a mistake. Sorry. Okay. That's what I want to do. I want to split my chart to this. Or by bit. And it's not showing what I want to show. So this is what I'm going to do. Let me just make it one and then open another chart. So but briefly, this was what we're looking at. So I'm looking at the 4-hour chart, and this was like the entry I gave, but this was a swing entry, right? Using this gives you like it's a swing entry with a swing stop loss. It gives you 2.5 RR, which obviously I said we were doing profits. You could take our profits if you want, and you want whatever works for you, right? And then I give this as another entry, but this entry I give here, this is a retest entry, right? And this is a 4RR actually, a 4RR at 103, almost 103, so 1025 something, 102,800, 103,000. At 103,000, we're gonna have a 4RR. And I actually believe by looking at the way things are, depends on how the market closes today, but whatever works right for the market to keep do what it wants to do. I'm not here to say what it's going to do. It does what it wants to do, but we're looking at that. I expect this to hit full targets most likely by next week. So if it hits full target by next week, it could, something crazy could happen today. You know what happens during the New York sessions? New York sessions are usually very crazy. So anything could happen during the New York session, which should be in 4 hours time from now. So if New York session is favorable to us, we could get it smash that level. But if it isn't either, we could look at it happening towards the weekend. There's the weekend, there's tomorrow. So whatever way, whichever way, this we should get this clearing our target levels as well. So I would like to see something like this on a holistic view, right? If I want to bring that holistic view, let me use the futures chart. This is the CME futures chart. The CME futures chart. So this is the CME futures chart. And the CME futures chart is actually the chart that shows the true pricing of an asset class. Because obviously the idea of what people know today as trading in terms of the internet, right? In terms of online trading, forex trading, it all started with the CME. Right, the CME is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, right, in New York. So when we talk about CBOT, CBOE, talking about what moved from like Asia, Japan to the US. We're talking about Wall Street. You can't talk about all these things without the CME Futures Exchange, where commodities were being traded on, right? And if you know of the history of trading on coal, you know that there's a history that started with in Osaka, Japan. It's Osaka in Japan, I don't know, but Osaka should be one of the countries in places in Asia that started with rice trading of rice. That's where commodity trading. The idea of commodity started with rice trading actually, and that's why you see some of the trading books you may have read has with candlesticks and stuff are in Asian names, just like the Haikinashi, and then you see the tweezer bottoms, double blah blah blah. If you see the candlestick Bible, also written by someone who is Chinese in Asia as well, and that's why a good number of the best set of traders are actually from that part of the world as well, because the history of whatever you're doing is somehow intertwined and interrelated with them. So CME, and you can see what happened last week when the was it last week when the CME had like a pause. It affected the whole market. The whole market when the CME had a pause. So I did this markup some time ago, but I was using a particular methodology which is called it's developed by a Nigerian actually. This methodology is developed by a Nigerian that has to do with liquidity concepts, but it's very mathematical and kind of complex for a lot of people. But it's actually a Nigerian that developed this methodology, which has to do with liquidity pricing, to know what are the participants in the market, if we've got buyers or we've got sellers. So if you see here, I did this, and it's based on open range liquidity. So if you look here, the open range liquidity for this, and this formed a new footprint for the weekly and then the daily, right? They formed this for the weekly and then the daily. So what happened here is that the weekly was minus, the daily was minus. So there were sellers in this market, and then it actually got to a point where it flipped, right? And we got buyers in. So this is a strong zone, actually, a very strong zone where buyers needed to come to. So sometimes when you use various liquidity concepts, it could be very intense. Camnage Solutions GM as well. How are you doing? Hope you're good. How is work today? I believe you should be in work today as well. Kudos for those who still join in while they're at the office and whatnot. So quick one. This is, I'm just trying to see if I can draw something on the trend line basis. Yeah, so I'm using the futures CME chart. So if you look at the CME chart, which the CME chart closes on Friday, so by the close of the market today, it closes and then it opens on Sunday, right? So if we're using the concept of this, we get one. So we get Shifunomics, and if we get this breakout, it's going to be like a proper Shifunomics breakout, something like this. This is what I'm looking out for. So we may get another opportunity to enter again, right? If we get this, I'm looking out for something like this, and then something like this, right? So even if he wants to go down to make a new low, we could get something like this, right? Or if we decide that it wants to do something else that is up to it, something like this, anything is possible, right? But whatever one it gives us, what matters is when we get this breakout, we want to look out for an entry on the retest. And if we get the retest N3, this is a strong zone. You can see here, this is a strong zone already. So we want to look out to get this entry. And if we've got it, we can now like set a stop loss, a little bit of push up above the 95k. Now we get a little bit above 95k. Wherever it ranges from, we get a pullback into here. We get our entry, we set our stop, and then we ride it to a little bit higher, the black line or whatever, and then we take our profits and stuff. So whatever works, right? Whatever works for that. So, but this was like the first thing we looked at when it comes to crypto, right? And I said we just be on this for now. And then I think I looked at an entry on the token called useless. I don't know the exact chart we used again, but I know I did use the chart. It's gonna be a bit tricky now because I don't exactly remember the exact chart we used, or I used per se. Okay, fantastic. So here we go. So I use this, and like I said, it's not set in stone. With all this, altcoins right now are crazy. So one has to be extremely careful with it. So you can see there. I think I took this is the only, apart from the Bitcoin. So until the highlight moves, everything is gonna be like great, 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 great. I can see your reply, Kamnach. I'm good, and work is going good. Amazing, amazing. AJ, good morning, Shifu. AJ, how are you? Hope you're good. What's happening? What's the plan for today? Are we making money today? So I think we look at this. Look at useless is just being useless, right? So with all screens, it could be really, really tricky. It could mess up whatever you're doing, whatever what you're looking out for as well. Even though I'm looking at like one could even get like an entry right on this. Trying to look which of them now. Imagine one getting an entry on this, right? This is way dead. Have you seen a triple tower like this? It's a triple tower. And then this is looking like he wants to now drop down, down. Except the person is ready to like. So imagine if something surprising happens. I mean, all these things are not set in stone. So anything that has to do with altcoins now are extremely risky. You could literally lose your money. You just want to be careful because the sentiment will have to have like that strong sentiment. But if this could be like really good if it works, right? Really good. This could give you a 40 RR, a 40 RR. So that means talking a 40 RR, talking like a 4,000x just at $11.6. So if it decides to run, give a rally, we're looking at $100 risk, giving like 4,000, right? 4K. A $50 risk giving like 2K, a $200 risk giving like 8K. So it depends, right? It all depends, but that could be like crazy running if so that is like new, right? It's not I didn't mention this before, it's new. So the other ones were things like we've mentioned before, we looked over and stuff and when profit. So that is like new. And one wants to okay, let me check for the greed and fear index. Let's see where it's at currently, because it gives you a perspective of what to gauge in terms of sentiment. Right, in terms of sentiment, it gives you a perspective where to gauge what is going on. And now sentiment is also like a driver, right, for the altcoins. So if we don't get this sentiment very strong on Bitcoin, yeah, you won't see it on altcoins. So you can see we're still in fear, right? We're still in fear. So as long as we're still in fear, what happens is long as we're still in fear, what happens? You see, we're still in 28. 28 is still fear. We are yet to even get neutral. So the breakout is what is going to take us to neutral. The breakout, the retrace, and the movement, that's what's going to take us to neutral. Right. But a lot of people are waiting for when it gets really, really green, but that is the wrong time, right? Because the truth is this is something that we've seen consistently. It happens like over time, over the years. We've seen it every year in, year out, year in, year out. So I think it's going to be very, really consistent in terms of fear, extreme fear, neutral, and then greed. We're going to get to greed, and not just are we going to get a greed, we're going to get to extreme greed, right? But a lot of people are going to wait for extreme greed. So your emotions is what is being gauged here. The emotions of the majority. You want to be careful as We have something on GBP card. So what we've got on GBP card, we've got so initially we got this buy which I gave us, and the buy is currently in profit. So I closed my buy position yesterday because I couldn't, like, I think I did it in the night. I did this in the night or so. I mean, I want to check something. I want to see how many RR it is up. So in this buy, it's up to RR already, 2 RR, which is a lot of profit, right? So I closed it with the profits already yesterday in the night. So, and then I'm in a sell currently. So I'm in a sell. So if I'm trying to see if the sell will be visible. And this is from the swing setups. So I'm in a sell, selling down. From here is like a 4R arrow isn't here as a stop. So I think my screen is brilliant enough for those who want to scalp the sell or whatnot. So this is for a swing setup. Let me check how my intraday chart shows. So on my intraday chart, so this is my intraday chart. My intraday chart is a bit different, but it's still a sell. My intraday chart is showing me a 3R arrow. So I've got a swing chart and intraday chart, different charts, right? But the same perspective. But my intraday chart is something you just want to trade for the next couple of days. Next couple of hours. Sorry, and has a lesser risk, smaller stop loss, a bigger RR. But on the flip side of things, for the swing is where you've got like bigger risk, and you're patient to wait even more than a day, right? 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. So on this is my intraday chart. So I think I'll be the swing chart. I don't know whichever, but this is giving us a 3R. We've got a safer stop loss. So whichever works for you, you could like close and profit if you want to buy, and then trade itself down, and then we should be looking out to get a new buy entry. Probably not today because Friday is almost done, but if we get today, we'll be fine. I'm going to look out for a possible buy entry. And so something is a bit tricky, and what is tricky here is I can't say for certain that price is going to get here, but let me go back to this chart. So what I can say for certain is that this level, this zone, because the problem with a lot of this pairs like this is pairs like this could be extremely confusing because you've got various brokers, various liquidity providers giving you various pricing. So if you don't correlate between what broker you are trading, and a lot of them, you could literally get confused, right, and get carried away. But I think it coming back to its retest is like perfect, right? So this entry, which already has given it to R, is still perfect. It's going to come back to there, right? The tendency of it coming back to there is possible. But another crazy thing is, let me hide this, and then I'm going to fix it up back. Something crazy could happen here, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that. And that is, it could come back here, right, and just buy up. But I most likely would favor it coming back to the entry. That would be good. I think it's a bit more, the RR will be better for me if it comes back to the entry. So I could just use here, assuming or expecting to come back to entry. What if it doesn't? It's fine. But because if you look here, expect it to come back to the entry, back to this point, and then buy it from here. Could it go a bit lower than this? I doubt. Remember, I said that a lot of people are expecting it to come a bit lower than that before buy, but I doubt that happens. But it could see happen. But whatever, this keeps you on the safer side. So if you're selling, then maybe you're out here in 4R or 3R. You've made good profits, which you can then risk on the buys again. So that's that for it. And then we've got Euro USD. We've been on Euro USD buy. So this is the swing setup. It's got to TP. This was the TP zone I gave those in the Forex Trading Network, and then I sent a few persons. So like it's got into that few TP zone level. Well, let's look at the intraday chart for Euro USD. So this is our intraday chart for Euro USD. You can also see that I gave this what's it called now? I gave this entry the other day, but I think we're gonna remove this one. I don't think this entry is valid any longer because the day has passed. It was just for the day. That entry is no longer valid. This is where I don't think it is valid any longer. So we may need to be on the watch out, look and wait. Watch out, look and wait and see. So if you ask what I think could be happening, I have a third chart which I call the Forex all round chart. That is just charts for K2. You know it's called K2. And I think for that one, if you look here, Euro USD is gonna show an entry. It's gonna show entries marked here. So they're like one entry, two entry. There are two entries. So if you look, I'm actually more bullish on this. I have an expectation. I have like a belief and a hope or faith or whatever you want to call it that this could most likely play out. This between this both of these guys, one of them could most likely play out. So I think I could let me make this side. But I think in this one of them is gonna play out. But this is a 6RR, this is a 7RR if you increase it. So one of them is gonna play out. So we've got this. This is gonna be like next week, I think. Um the UD could be next week, GBP card as well could be next week as well. So but having these views could really help you prepare ahead of time. So because I'm literally like showing you what I'm looking out for. And then last but not the least, we've got what again? We've got there's an asset class I'm looking for. I think I've shown us three already for today. So basically it's only three we look out for: GBP CAD, right, Euro USD, and then we've looked out for one crypto pair. So I think that is what we do every single time I come, just three, and that's enough for us. AJ says doing very well, sir. Just observing the market and doing some stocks. Good. So it seems the fear is fair at this point. Yeah, I think it's fair, and I think it's gonna be over in a couple of days from now, and then the party is it's more of a roller coaster, right? We've got a lot of roller coaster right now of emotions, and it's gonna crazy because a lot of people are gonna be sidelined. I think people should be wisely I think we're gonna have the private session for those in the bull run group. That should be tomorrow. So I think people should just be wisely positioned and stuff. All the same, bye for now, guys. See you. I think I'm not sure about tomorrow, but tomorrow will be nice to come on live as well. Tomorrow. I've got tomorrow. Tomorrow is fair. Tomorrow morning we've got a private session with Bro. Let's see how it works because Sunday is out of the equation for me, but let's just see how it goes. An amazing season, and there's so much opportunity in this season, so we could make the best of it with whatever we get to see across the markets and the asset classes, and what we could like literally deep dive into. There's some like major contents I need to start creating as regards how to take advantage of these things for beginners and stuff, which I think I should start doing that as we go straight up into the week. So let's see how it goes. I'll assign someone to help me do that, and then we'll post videos in that regard. Bye for now, everyone, and have an amazing day.